शुक्लांबरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। अगजानन पद्मार्कं गजाननमहर्निशम् अनेकदन्तं भक्तानाम् एकदन्तमुपास्महे। श्रीमहागणपतये नमः। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां विशजे भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। अस्मद्गुरुचरणारविन्दाभ्यां नमः। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। ज्ञानानन्दमयं देवं निर्मलस्फटिकाकृतिम् आधारं सर्वविद्यानां श्रीहयग्रीवमुपास्महे। श्रीहयग्रीवमूर्तये नमः। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। श्रीमहासरस्वत्यै नमः। उमाकोमलहस्ताब्जसम्भावितललाटकम् हिरण्यकुण्डलं वन्दे कुमारं पुष्करश्रयं। வெற்றிவேல் முருகனுக்கு ஹரஹரோஹரா. லோகவீரியம் மகாபூஜ்யம் சர்வரக்ஷாகரம் விபும் பார்வதி ஹிருதயானந்தம் சாஸ்தாரம் பிரணமாம்யகம். சுவாமியே சரணமையப்பா. வாகர்த்தாவிவ சம்பிரக்தௌ வாகர்த்த பிரதிபத்தயே जगदः पितरौ वन्दे पार्वती परमेश्वरौ। श्री पार्वती परमेश्वराभ्यां नमः। कोमलं कूजयन् वेणुं श्यामलोऽयं कुमारकः वेदवेद्यं परब्रह्मा तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। अस्मद्गुरुचरणारविन्दाभ्यां नमः। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे श्रीनाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे श्रीनाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे श्रीनाथ नारायण वासुदेव। पीताम्बरं करविराजितचक्रशङ्खकौमोदकी सरसिजं करुणासमुद्रं राधासहायम् अतिसुन्दरमन्दहासं वातालयेशम् अनिशं हृदि भावयामि। कृष्णो रक्षतु मां चराचरगुरुः कृष्णं नमस्ते सदा। कृष्णेनैव सुरक्षितोऽहमसकृत् कृष्णाय दत्तं मनः। कृष्णादेव समुद्भवो मम विभो कृष्णस्य दासोऽस्म्यहम्। कृष्णे भक्तिरचञ्चलास्तु भगवन्। हे कृष्ण तुभ्यं नमः। श्रीगुरुवायूरप्पा शरणं नम्राणां सन्निधत्ते सततमपि पुरस्तैरणभ्यर्थितानपि आर्तान् कामानजस्रं वितरति परमानन्दसान्द्रां गतिं च। इत्थं निःशेषलभ्यो निरवधिकफलः पारिजातो हरे त्वं क्षुद्रं तं शक्रवाटी ध्रुवमभिलषति व्यर्थमर्तिव्रजोऽयम्। श्रीगुरुवायूरप्पा शरणं श्रीभट्टपादम् अनिशं हृदि भावयामि। वंशी विभूषितकरात् नवनीरदाभात् पीताम्बरात् अरुणबिम्बफलादरोष्टात् पूर्णेन्दुसुन्दरमुखात् अरविन्दनेत्रात् कृष्णात् परं किमपि तत्त्वमहं न जाने। കൈരണ്ടും കൂപ്പി ഞാൻ വീണ്ടുമീറക്കുന്നു നീരജലോചന നിന്നോടായി. ഏതീനു മഞ്ഞനെ കുമ്പീരേണ്ട തോറും പ്രീതിയിൽ നീ എന്നെ പാലിക്കന്നായി. കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ ജയ കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ ജയ കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ ജയ കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ. Good morning, everyone. Okay, so we'll do a quick review of 6 and 7 today. Madhu, can you do 6? And then Priya, you and Harini, can you split 7, half each?
Dasakam 6. Virat Dehasya Jagadatmatvam Varnam. Evam Chaturdasha Jaganmayatam Gatasya पातालमीश तव पादतलं वदन्ति पादोर्ध्वदेशमपि देवरसातलं ते गुल्फद्वयं खलु महातलमद्भुतात्मन् जङ्घे तलातलमथो सुतलं च जानु किञ्चोरुभागयुगलं वितलातले द्वे क्षोणीतलं जघनमम्बमरङ्गनाभिः वक्षश्च शक्रनिलयस्तव चक्रपाणे ग्रीवामहस्तव मुखं च जनस्तपस्तु फालं शिरस्तव फालं शिरस्तव समस्तमयस्य सत्यम् एवं जगन्मयतनो एवं जगन्मयतनो जगदाश्रितैरप्यन्यैर्निबद्धवपुषे भगवन्नमस्ते त्वद्ब्रह्मरन्ध्रपदमीश्वर विश्वकन्द छन्दांसि केशवघनास्तव केशपाशाः उल्लासि चिल्लियुगलं द्रुहिणस्य गेहं पक्ष्माणि रात्रिदिवसौ सविता च नेत्रे निःशेष विश्वरचना च कटाक्षमोक्षः कर्णौ दिशोऽश्वियुगलं तव नासिके द्वे लोभत्रपे च भगवन्नधरोत्तरोष्ठौ तारागणाश्च दशनाशमनश्च दंष्ट्रा मायाविलाससहितं श्वसितं समीरो जिह्वाजलं वचनमीश शकुन्तपङ्क्तिः सिद्धादयः स्वरगणा मुखरन्ध्रमग्निः देवा भुजास्तनयुगं तव धर्मदेवः.
Madhu, the first line, Vilasa Hasitam. Hasitam, the word, the first line. Maya Vilasa Hasitam.
Okay, I'll do it again. Sorry.
Okay, I think you said Sahitam or something. Just
okay, I'll do. Maya Vilasa Hasitam Shvasitam Samiro Jihva Jalam Vachanamisha Shakunta Panktihi Siddhadayaswaragana Mukharandramagnihi Deva Bhujastanayugam Tava Dharma Devaha पृष्ठं त्वधर्म इह देव मनस्सुधांशुः अव्यक्तमेव हृदयाम्बुजमम्बुजाक्ष कुक्षिः समुद्रनिवहावसनं तु सन्ध्ये शेफः प्रजापतिरसौ वृषणौ च मित्रः श्रोणीस्थलं मृगगण शोणीस्थलं मृगगणाः पदयोर्निखास्ते हस्त्युष्ट्रसैन्धवमुखाः गमनं तु कालः विप्रादिवर्णभवनं विप्रादिवर्णभवनं वदनाब्जबाहु चारुरुयुग्मचरणं करुणाम्बुधेते संसारचक्रमयि चक्रधरक्रियास्ते वीर्यं महासुरगणोऽस्थिकुलानि शैलाः नाड्यः सरित्समुदयस्तरवश्च रोम जीयादिदं वपुरनिर्वचनीयमीश ईदृग्जगन्मयवपुस्तव कर्मभाजां कर्मावसानसमये स्मरणीयमाहुः तस्यान्तरात्मवपुषे विमलात्मने ते वातालयाधिपनमोऽस्तु निरुन्धिरोगान्.
हिरण्यगर्भोत्पत्ति वर्णनम हिरण्यगर्भवतपश्चरण वर्णनम वैकुंठ स्वरूप वर्णनम भगवत स्वरूप साक्षात्कार वर्णनम भगवत अनुग्रह वर्णनम च. एवं देव चतुर्दशात्मक जगत् रूपेण जातः पुनः तस्योर्ध्वं खलु सत्यलोकनिलये जातोऽसि दाता स्वयं यं शंसन्ति हिरण्यगर्भमखिल त्रैलोक्य जीवात्मकं यो भूत्स्फीतरजो विकार विकसन् नानासिक्सृक्षारसः सोऽयं विश्वविसर्गदत्त हृदयः सम्पश्यमान स्वयं बोधं कल्वनवाप्य विश्वविषयं चिन्ताकुलस्तस्तिवान् तावत् त्वं जगतां पते तपतपे त्वेवं हि वैहायसीं वाणीमेन मसिश्रवः श्रुतिसुखां कुर्वं स्तपः प्रेरणाम्.
We on the fourth line, first word, Vanim enamashishravah. And the ish, and the visarga becomes a ish.
Okay. Vanim enamashishravah श्रुतिसुखां कुर्वं स्तपः प्रेरणाम्. कोऽसौ मामवदत् पुमानिति जलपूर्णे जगन्मण्डले दिक्षुद्वीक्ष्य किमप्यनीक्षितवता वाक्यार्थम् उत्पश्यता दिव्यं वर्षसहस्रम् अत्ततपसा तेन त्वम् आराधितः तस्मै दर्शितवानसि स्वनिलयं वैकुण्ठमेकाद्भुतम् माया यत्र कदापि नो विकुरुते भाते जगद्भ्यो बहिः शोकक्रोधविमोहसाध्वसमुखाः भावास्तु दूरं गताः सान्द्रानन्दजरी च यत्र परमज्योतिः प्रकाशात्मके तत्ते धाम विभावितं विजयते वैकुण्ठरूपं विभो यस्मिन्नाम चतुर्भुजः हरिमणि श्यामावदातद्विशो नानाभूषणरत्नदीपितदिशो राजद्विमानालयः भक्तिप्राप्त तथा विधोन्नतपदाः दिव्यन्ति दिव्या जनाः तत्ते धाम निरस्त सर्वशमलं वैकुण्ठरूपं जयेत्.
Important. The fifth stanza, just two small corrections. First line வந்து Chaturbhujaha. Okay, it's a A. Okay, that's number one. And then the third line is after that Vidonnata Padaha. Adukapram the next word is Divyanti, and under D is a long E. So Divyanti Divyajanaha. That is a short E. Okay, I think you put both a short E. So this is Divyanti. Just stretch, okay, a little bit.
Okay. Thank you.
नाना दिव्यवधूजनैरभिवृता विद्युल्लता तुल्यया विश्वोन्मादन हृद्यगात्रलतया विद्योतिता शान्तरा त्वत्पादाम्बुजसौरभैककुतुकात् लक्ष्मी स्वयं लक्ष्यते यस्मिन् विस्मयनीय दिव्य विभवं तत्ते पदं देहि मे तत्रैव प्रतिदर्शिते निजपदे रत्नासनाध्यासितं भास्वत्कोटि लसत्किरीटकटकाद्या कल्पदी प्राकृति श्रीवत्साङ्कितमात्तकौस्तुभमणिच्छायारुणं कारणं विश्वेषां तव रूपमैक्षतविधिः तत्ते विभो भातु मे कालाम्बोदकलाय कोमलरुचि चक्रेण चक्रं दिशाम् प्रसन्नाननं राजत्कम्बुगदारि पङ्कजधर श्रीमद्भुजामण्डलं स्रष्टुस्तुष्टिकरं वपुस्तव विभो मद्रोगमुद्वासयेत् दृष्ट्वा सम्भृतसम्भ्रमः कमलभूः त्वत्पादपातोरुहे हर्षावेशवशं वदो निपतितः प्रीत्या कृतार्ती भवन् जानास्येव मनीषितं मम विभो ज्ञानं तदा पादय द्वैताद्वैत भवत्स्वरूप परिमित्याचष्टतं त्वां भजे
Last word, paramit. Paramit, not pari. Paramityachashta.
परमित्याचष्टतं त्वां भजे आताम्रे चरणे विनम्रमततं हस्तेन हस्ते स्पृशन् बोधस्ते भविता न सर्गविधिभिर्बन्धोऽपि सञ्जायते इत्याभाष्य गिरं प्रतोष्य नितरां तच्चिद्गूढस्वयं
Chitta.
इत्याभाष्य गिरं प्रतोष्य नितरां तच्चित्तगूढस्वयं सृष्टौ तं समुदैरसत् भगवन् उल्लासयोल्लाघताम्
Namaya Parabrahmane Namaha. Very nice. Okay, so we'll continue with 8. We'll start with 8 today. I know I have to tell the meaning of the 7th, the last stanza of the 7th also, so we'll do that. So first half today, Krishnanji, you can be a student, and then Padmaja Naishadam, you can be a student. Shailaja Naishadam, you can be a student. So Dashakam 8 is Pralaya Varnanam and Jagat Srishti Prakara Varnanam. Those are the two topics there. And just to kind of complete on the 7th one, so we saw how the Hiranyandam was there, then Bhagwan himself created those 14 worlds, and then Brahma was established first. And then when Brahma came, he had this upsurge of Rajoguna, he had this passion or desire to create, but he didn't know what to do. And then when he meditated, he heard the two words tapa, tapa. Then he gets into a state of penance or meditation. And then he's able to see Vaikuntham, and he's able to see what is in Vaikuntham. Then he sees Lord Vishnu who is in Vaikuntham, and then there were a bunch of prayers. And then Brahma prays, and finally he gets a darshan of the Lord. Then he prays saying that, give me the appropriate knowledge, because this is the first day of Brahma in this Dashakam 7. And we'll see what the days of Brahma are in Dashakam 8. So when he prays saying that, give me enough of a knowledge so I understand duality, so I can go ahead with creation. At the same time, I also understand Advaitam, so I don't get bound by that karma. So in the stanza 10, that's when the Lord is communicating to Brahma saying that I know what your intention is, I know what your desire is, and it was me who gave you that instruction. When in one of the stanzas, when he heard that noise, he said it was me who gave you that instruction of what to do, and then he blesses him with the appropriate knowledge to begin the process. So that is where Dashakam 7 ends. Now, Dashakam 8 is going to completely take a different turn. It'll all kind of come together, but right now it'll look like it's taking a completely different turn. So stanza 1. Evam tavat prakrita prakshayante brahme kalpe hyadi me labdha janma brahma bhuyastvatta evapya vedan Srishtim Chakre Purva Kalpopamanam. So here, before we get into this details of Dashakam 8, right, there is some timelines, right? I'll kind of share, and I'll also send you a screenshot or an image of this, right? And you can also see some of this online. You can Google and get that information also. So what we'll kind of say, because the words which are coming here, like Prakrita Pralaya, Kalpa, these are all the words which are coming. You got to understand what each of those things mean. So some ground setting on this is, so each year, we know what our year is, 365 and a quarter day constitutes our 1 year. When each of the yugas, which is just a categorization of the time, so the Kali Yuga is 432,000 years. Okay, 432,000 years is Kali Yuga, and we are nowhere close to that. So when people say the world is coming to an end, it's not coming to an end. It's a long way to go according to the Hindu timelines, right? So Kali Yuga is 432,000 years. Then you go to Dwapara Yuga, which just got completed. That was 2x the Kali Yuga. So 432 times 2, 864,000 years is Dwapara Yuga. Then the Treta Yuga was 432,000 times 3. And then the Satya Yuga was 432 times 4. So if you add all of these things, 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1 comes to 10, 10x. X is 432,000. So total duration of these 4 yugas, one of these 4 yugas is 4.3 million years is the total of all of these things. Now, what happens is this Brahmas, so that is 4.3 million years is one, it's called as all of the Chatur yugas is 4.3 million years. Now you take this 4.3 million and then you multiply it by each of this combination is called as one Chatur Yuga because it's all the 4 years combined, right? Four yugas combined, one Chatur Yuga. 1 day of Brahma, which is called as one Kalpa. So anytime you hear the word Kalpa coming, that refers to the duration of the day of Brahma. The duration of the day of Brahma is 1,000 Chatur Yugas. So 4.3 million times 1,000 is 4.32 billion human years constitutes 1 day of Brahma. And as you go up in the planetary systems, the levels of the world that we started, then the time, the concept of time changes. So for us, 1 year is the way we understand as 1 year. When you start going up and you go to the Devaloka, then 1 day for them is 1 year for us. That's why when you do Shraddham and all, you do it one every year because it constitutes a day. As you go up and you finally reach Satyaloka, which is where Brahma is sitting, so that 4.32 billion years, human years, is considered one kalpa or 1 day of Brahma. Okay. It's equal amount, just like how we have 12 hours day, 12 hours night approximately. That one kalpa, which is a day of Brahma, has the exact same one kalpa duration, another 4.32 billion years, which constitutes the night of Brahma. And we'll see what is day, what is night, but I'm just loosely using those terms. So now you combine these two, it becomes 8.64 billion years. That is 1 full day of Brahma, like it's 24 hours for us. And Brahma lives for 100 years in that definition. So times 360 to get 1 year, times 100 is the duration of the life of one Brahma. Okay, so that is kind of the general level setting of the time. Now, at the end of the kalpa of Brahma, which is Brahma's day, there is one destruction that happens called as Prakrita Pralaya. Sorry, Naimittika Pralaya that happens at the end of one kalpa of Brahma. And we'll see what Naimittika and what Prakrita Pralaya is. The Naimittika Pralaya, which happens at the end of 1 day of Brahma, wipes off some things in this 14 words. And then the Prakrita Pralaya, which happens after 100 years of Brahma getting completion, wipes off literally everything that is in existence. So when we saw in Dashakam 7, when the Brahma was coming for the first time, when the entire Andam was getting formed, all of that we saw was which was happening after the Prakrita Pralaya was happened, which means everything had wiped out, right? And the Karanodakashayi Vishnu, which we saw in Dashakam 5, who started from scratch of creating the material energy and everything for that universe. Remember, every universe is following a different timeline. For this universe, When that process started, that happened after Prakrita Pralaya, because everything starts from scratch again. Okay, so that is the level setting, and as we go through this, you'll be able to relate as I tell the explanation on this. So here it says that Kalpa, which is the day of Brahma, which started after the Prakrita Pralaya, which means complete this. Brahma is born for the first time, the first day of the first year of Brahma, that is called as Brahma Kalpa. So it's the first day, just a name. Each Kalpa has a name. We'll see what the current Kalpa's name is later, but that's called as a Brahma Kalpa. So when Brahma got that knowledge previously in Dasakam 7, was at Brahma Kalpa, because he's coming in existence for the first time. And then he gets a knowledge, and then he begins the process of creation. So that's what is saying in this stanza. Okay. So evam tavat prakrita prakshayante, comma, brahme kalpe hyadime, hyadime labdha janma, brahma bhuyas tvatta evapya vedan, comma, srishtim chakre purva kalpopamana. So he starts the process of creation like what he did in the previous kalpa, which is the previous year. Now this is a completely new Brahma, so it's a new process that is getting started in this case. Evam tavat prakrita prakshayante brahme kalpe hyadime labdha janma brahma bhuyastvatta evapya vedan srishtim chakre purva kalpopamana. Krishnji, you're on mute, sir. I think it's frozen, I think. Krishnji, can you hear us?
Oh, sorry, I was mute.
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
apologize.
Okay.
Evam tavat prakrita pakshayante brahme kalpe hyamide labdha janma brahma bhuyastvatta evapya vedan srishtim chakre purva kalpopamanam.
Second line, first word is Brahme Kalpe. That's a in the middle there.
Brahme kalpa.
One more time, go ahead.
Evam tavat prakrita prakshayante brahme kalpe hyamide labdha janma brahma bhuyastvatta evapya devan srishtim chakre purva kalpopamanam.
That second line, middle word, Hyadime. Hyadime Labdha Janma.
Hyadime labdha janma.
Yeah. I don't know who did it pick. I think Shailaja, right? No, I don't know. Let me see.
I'm here.
Shailaja, yeah.
I'm here. Should I repeat?
Yeah, go ahead 2 times. Yeah.
Evam tapat prakrita prakshayante brahme kalpe hyadime labdha janma brahma bhuyastyat evapya vedan srishtin chakre purva kalpopamanam. Evam tavat prakrita prakshayante brahme kalpe hyadime labdha janma brahma bhuyastyatta evapya vedan srishtin chakre purva kalpopamanam.
That third line, Bhuyas Tvatta.
Bhuyastvatta. Okay, not ya. Okay, bhuyastvatta.
Yeah.
Brahma bhuyastvatta. Okay.
Yeah. Answer 2.
Thanks.
Sohyam chatur yuga sahasramitanyahani tavan mitascharajanir bahusho ninaya nidratya sautvayi niliya samam swasrishtaihi naimittika pralayamahuratosya ratrim. So some of this, what I explained, is going to continue because I kind of gave you a big picture overview there. So it says this Chatur Yugas, 1000 Chatur Yugas, which we said was the day of Brahma. During the day of Brahma, when that process happens, Brahma is doing work, just like how we all work during the day. Brahma is doing the process of creation. When that process gets over, then the transition period, which is the night of Brahma, is called as the Naimittika Pralaya time, which is equivalent to 1000 Chaturyugas which are there. In that 1000 Chaturyugas, it says Brahma goes to sleep. Very loosely used term. Now, when Brahma doesn't literally go to sleep, right? But what that means is, in that process begins the end of creation for that particular period, right? So that Garbhodakashayi Vishnu, from whom Brahma came for the process of creation, Brahma pauses the process of creation. So the way this happens is you have all these 14 worlds that we spoke about. So in this Naimittika Pralaya, which happens at the end of every day of Brahma, all the worlds up to, so the bottom words, which is Atala, Sutala, Patala, Rasatala, Talatala, all of that is completely destroyed. The Bhuloka, which is the earth region, is completely destroyed. The layer above that, which is Bhuvarloka, that's also completely destroyed. The layer above, which is Swargaloka, even that is completely destroyed. This Maharloka, which is a layer above that, that is there at the beginning, but eventually gets destroyed towards the end of that loka. Only the top three lokas, Satyaloka, Tapaloka, and Janaloka, exist in the creation of these 14 worlds. Only those three layers of the 14 worlds continue to exist during this period of Brahma's night. And no creation happens at this time. All the souls, all the beings who are there in all of these bottom worlds we spoke about, they all completely go and merge into the Garbhodakashayi Vishnu who's lying at the bottom. They all completely merge. There's absolutely no creation. Nothing happens. The people who are in the beings who are in the top three worlds, they continue to remain, but don't do anything. And we'll see what that is in the next stanza. So this definition is, this Naimittika Pralaya period is called as Brahma's night. Just so that we can understand the concept of night, because night we don't do anything, we go to sleep. So that's what, nothing is happening at that time. Soyam Chatur Yuga Sahasra Mitanya Hani, Tavan Mitascha Rajanir Bahusho Ninaya Nidratyasau Twai Niliya Samam Swasrishtaihi. So put a visarga and comma at the end of that line. Swasrishtaihi. Next line, if you have a ir or a r, that will go away. Naimittika Pralayam Ahuratosya. So that im that is there, you can put an im. Pralayam Ahuratosya Ratrim. Sohyam Chatur Yuga Sahasramitanyahani Tavan Mitascharajanir Bahusho Ninaya Nidratyasau Tvai Niliya Samam Swasrishtaihi Naimittika Pralayamahuratosya Ratrim.
Soyam Chaduryuga Sahasramityanyahani Tavan Midascharajanir Bahusho Niya Nityadrasau Tvai Niliya Samam Susrishtaihi Naimittika Pralayamahuratosya Ratrim. Soyam Chaduryuga Sahasramityanyahani Tavan Midascharajanir Bahusho Niyaya Nidratyasau Tvai Niliya Samam Susrishtaihi Naimittika Pralayamahuratosya Ratrim.
Soyam Chaturyuga Sahasramitasya Hani Tavan Mitascha Rajanir Bahusho Ninaya Nidratyasau Tvai Niliya Samam Swasrishtaihi Naimittika Pralaya Mahuratosya Ratrim. Soyam Chaturyuga Sahasramitanyahani Tavan Mitascha Rajanir Bahusho Ninaya Nidratyasau Tvai Niliya Samam Swasrishtaihi Naimittika Pralaya Mahuratosya Ratrim.
Ansati. Asmadrisham Punarahar Mukakritya Tulhya Srishtim Karotyanudinam Sabhavat Prasadhat Prag Brahma Kalpajanusham Chaparayusham Tu Supta Prabodhana Samasti Tadapi Srishtihi. So like he said, at the time when Brahma, he withdraws into a state of rest because all the process of creation stops at that time. Then he waits for the entire duration of his night. which is equal to 1000 Chaturyugas, to get over. So what, just like how we all wake up in the morning and we all then start the process of getting the kids ready, sending them to school, go to work, and we do the same thing we do every day, Brahma also has to do the same thing every day. So it says the next morning, which is after this, the next Kalpa of Brahma starts, he then has to again engage in the process of creation, because remember, only the top 3 worlds are there. All the other worlds are gone. All the beings which are there in the other worlds are gone. So Brahma has to again start the process of creation. Of all of them have to be created again. And then they will all last one Kalpa of Brahma. So this is just like how we do. Brahma also has to go through, just at a much higher level than what we do. Just, however, there are some exceptions. While all the souls and the beings which are in the bottom worlds are completely merged and they have to come out completely new again, for Brahma and for other Chiranjeevis who exist in the top worlds, it is like waking up from sleep. That's what they're saying. They are not completely merged. They are all still in existence. They just don't do anything. So they're in a state of inertia or nothingness of state. But then for them, it is like, example given is, you wake up in the morning. So when you wake up in the morning, you are not completely dead the previous night, right? You just wake up and then you have to begin your process. So similarly, it says that all the Chiranjeevis like Markandeya and everyone, we'll see that in Markandeya Puranam, which will come in the 97th Dasakam. So in all those Chiranjeevis, they will, for them, it is like waking up again in a new morning, right? But they didn't do anything in the previous night. Asmadrisham punarahar mukha krityatulyam, comma, srishtim karotyanudinam sa bhavat prasada. Again, none of this will happen without bhavat prasada, without your blessings. And we'll see that. Prag brahma kalpa janusham cha parayusham tu, comma, supta prabodhana samasti tadapi srishtihi. अस्मादृशां पुनरहर्मुखकृत्यतुल्यं सृष्टिं करोत्यनुदिनं स भवत्प्रसादात् प्राग्ब्राह्मकल्पजनुषां च परायुषां तु सुप्तप्रबोधनसमास्ति तदापि सृष्टिः.
I have 2 questions.
Yeah.
In my book, the 3rd line says Prag Brahma. It's not Brahma.
Yeah, you have to change it to Brahma Kalpa.
Brahma. And then Tada, the last word, Tada Vi, it's Vi. Tada Vi Srishtihi. But is it V or P?
P-I. Tadapi Srishtihi. Api. Tadapi Srishtihi.
Okay, in my book it's V.
अस्मादृशां पुनरहर्मुखकृत्यतुल्यां सृष्टिं करोत्यनुदिनं स भवत्प्रसादात् आब्रह्मा कल्पजनुषां च परायुषां तु सुप्तप्रबोधनस्मास्ति तदापि तुष्टिः.
The same thing, the 3rd line, Prag Brahma Kalpa. Okay,
प्राक् ब्राह्मकल्पजनुषां च पराश्रयम् अस्मादृशां पुनरहर्मुखकृत्यतुल्यां सृष्टिं करोत्यनुदिनं स भवत्प्रसादात् प्राक् ब्राह्मकल्पजनुषजां परायुषां तु सुप्तप्रबोधनसमास्ति तदापि सृष्टिः.
अस्मादृशां पुनरहर्मुखकृत्यतुल्यां सृष्टिं करोत्यनुदिनं स भवत्प्रसादात् प्राग्ब्राह्मकल्पजनुषां च परायुषां तु सुप्तप्रबोधसमास्ति तदापि सृष्टिः. अस्मादृशां पुनरहर्मुखकृत्यतुल्यां सृष्टिं करोत्यनुदिनं स भवत्प्रसादात् प्राग्ब्राह्मकल्पजनुषां च परायुषां तु सुप्तप्रबोधसमास्ति तदापि सृष्टिः.
That last line, Supta Prabodhana Samasti.
सुप्तप्रबोधनसमास्ति तदापि सृष्टिः. Thank you.
That's a 4. Panchashadabdhamaduna swavayortharupam Ekam parardhamativrtya hi vartate so tatrantya ratri janitan katayami bhuman paschadinavatarane cha bhavat vilasan. This is another thing I forgot to mention in the timeline. So when you have that Kalpa of Brahma, 1000 Chaturyugas, so Brahma, he has his own delegates to manage those 1000 Chaturyugas. So the delegates of Brahma are called as Manus, M-A-N-U, Manus. So the Manus, when you always think of it as a pyramid, right? The top, then it expands and then it expands further. So the Manus cannot have the same time span as Brahma of 1000 Chaturyugas, or one Kalpa cannot be 1000 Chaturyugas. So these Manus have lesser time. So that 1000 Chaturyugas are divided across 14 Manus who manage it in a sequence, which means if you take 1000 and you divide by 14, it will come to 71 and a quarter, which means each Manu reigns over 71 Chaturyugas. And then it goes to the next Manu, then it goes to the next Manu. So 14 Manus, right? Now, this particular stanza, Bhattaripat says, it's impossible for anyone to know what happened the previous day of Brahma. Okay, because just imagine, right? One day of Brahma is like, billion years, right? 4.32 billion years. So he says, I am now going to tell everything that is going to be told from this Dashakam through 100 is going to be happening in this Kalpa of Brahma, in the current day of Brahma. Okay, that's the reference point. So all these avatars that you're going to be hearing about, everything which is going to coming, he's saying from now on, I'll tell you what happens from this day of Brahma. So now you have to understand which day are we in, right? So when you do your Sankalpam, it will say, first it will start with Dvitiya Parardhe, right? So the para means full, para ardhe means half. So the 100 years of Brahma, you break it into two. First 50 years, second 50 years. Says right now we are in Dvitiya Parardhe. So we are in the second 50 years of Brahma. So this Brahma, who is in existence, has just completed 50 years milestone. So he is in the second 50 year of Brahma. So Dvitiya Parardhe. In the Dvitiya Parardhe, we are in the Shweta Varaha Kalpe. Remember what Kalpa is? Kalpa is a day of Brahma. So we are in the Shweta Varaha Kalpa, because in this case, the Varaha Avataram happened on this particular day of Brahma, where the Lord was white in color. So it's called Shweta Varaha Kalpe. So this is the first day of the 51st year of Brahma. Okay, so in the movies, Brahma will have a long beard, very white in color, but Brahma is only 50 years old actually. This Brahma is 50 years old. So the 51st year, first day we are in Shweta Varaha Kalpe. Within the Shweta Varaha Kalpe, remember there are 14 Manus who rule over every Kalpa. We are in the Vaivaswata Manvantare. So Vivaswan, which is sun, the S-O-N of the S-U-N god called Vaivaswata Manu. So he's the 7th Manu of the 14 Manus in that one Kalpa of Brahma. Okay, so we are in the 7th Manu, kind of halfway mark for that day. So we are in the Vaivaswata Manvantare. Ashtavimshati Thame. So remember, each Manu has 71 Chaturyugas he manages. We are in the 28th Chaturyuga of this Vaivaswata Manu. Ashtavimshati Thame. Kali Yuge. So in the 28th Chaturyuga that this Manu is managing, we are in the Kali Yuga. We are in the 4th of the Chaturyuga of this. Kali Yuga Prathame Phade. We are in the first quarter of that Kali Yuga. We still have 3/4 of the Kali Yuga to go over, right? And then that's a time. And then you go and say Krauncha Deepe, Ramanaka Varshe, Bardakandi, you go to all the time, right? So the Sankalpam is saying this time and this space. So this is the time that we talked about. So you know what each of those things mean there. So here Bhattaripat is telling, let me now tell you what all happened in the previous night of Brahma and the current day of Brahma, which is the Shweta Varaha Kalpa. So Panchashat Abdham Aduna. You can break at the and if you want. Panchashat Abdham Aduna Swa Vayordha Rupam, put a im. Rupam, comma. Next line, the Mekams becomes Ekam. Ekam Parardham Ativritya Hi Vartate Sau. Tatrantya Ratri Janitan Katayami Bhuman, comma. पश्चात् दिनावतरणे च भवद्विलासान् पञ्चाशदब्धमधुना स्ववयोर्धरूपम् एकं परार्धमतिवृत्य हि वर्तते सौ तत्रान्त्यरात्रिजनितान् कथयामि भूमन् पश्चाद्दिनावतरणे च भवद्विलासान्
पञ्चाशदब्धमधुना स्ववयोवृद्धरूपम् एकं परार्धम् अधिवृत्य हि वक्तदेसौ तत्रान्त्यरात्रिजनितां कथयामि भूमन् पञ्चाधिनावतरणे च भवद्विलासान् पञ्चाशदब्धमधुना स्ववयोवृद्धरूपम् एकं परार्धम् अधिवृत्य हि वदत्तेऽसौ तत्रान्त्यरात्रिजनितां कथयामि भूमन् पञ्चाधिनावतरणे च भवद्विलासान्.
The last line, first word, पश्चाद्दिनावतरणे. Ish.
पश्चाद्दिनावतरणे.
Ish, yeah. Paschad, yeah.
पञ्चाशदब्धमधुना स्ववयोर्धरूपम् एकं परार्थमतिवृत्य हि वर्तते सौ तत्रान्त्यरात्रिजनितान् कथयामि भूमन् पश्चाद्दिनावतरणे च भवद्विलासान् पञ्चाशदब्धमधुना स्ववयोर्धरूपम् एकं परार्धमतिवृत्य हि वर्तते सौ तत्रान्त्यरात्रिजनितान् कथयामि भूमन् पश्चाद्दिनावतरणे च भवद्विलासान्.
5 and 6 meaning I'll say together. Dinavasaneta saroja yonihi, comma, sushupti kamas tvai sannililye jaganti cha tvajhataram samiyuhu, put a visarga comma, samiyuhu. Next line, that is, if you have it, that will go away. Tadedam ekarnava, that may that is there, you can break it if you want. Tadedam ekarnava masa vishwam. Dinabhasaneta sarojayonihi sushuptikamastvai sannililye jaganti chatvajhataram samiyuhu tadedame karnavamasa vishwam.
दीनावसानेथ सरोजयोनिः सुषुप्तिकामस्त्वयि सन्निलिल्ये जगन्ति च त्वद्धजरं समीयुः तदेव एकावर्णमास विश्वम्.
Now that last line, tadedam ekarnavam asa vishwam.
तदेवम् एकार्णवमास विश्वम् दीनावसाने दसरोजयोनिः सुषुप्तिकामस्त्वयि सन्निलिल्ये जगन्ति जडम् समीयुः एदेवम् एकार्णवमास विश्वम्.
Tadedam, sorry, I think you said something else.
तदेदम्, okay.
Yeah, correct.
Sorry, your question. Tade da tade va.
Tadedam.
Da.
Yeah, da. Next.
Yeah, okay, thanks.
दिनावसानेथ सरोजयोनिः सुषुप्तिकामस्त्वयि सन्निलिल्ये जगन्ति च त्वजठरं समीयुः तदेदमेकार्णवमास विश्वम् दिवावसानेथ सरोजयोनिः सुषुप्तिकामस्त्वयि सन्निलिल्ये जगन्ति च त्वजठरं तमीयुः तदेदमेकार्णवमास विश्वम्.
That and the third line is Twaj Jataram.
Twajjataram.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Answer 6. Paveshe Phanirajisheshe Jalaikasheshe Bhuvane Smasheshe Ananda Sandranubhava Swarupah Swayoga Nidra Parimudritatma. Kind of 5 and 6 meaning together. So, like Bhattacharya is saying, just go back a little bit, rewind to the previous night of Brahma, right? 50th year, last day of Brahma gets over. Now what happens, right? Because he's now starting from there to explain what's going to be happening. So the same thing is starting, nothing different. At the end of the 50th day of Brahma, when Brahma's night is coming and the Naimittika Pralaya comes, all these bottom worlds go away completely and everybody goes into Tvajataram. Narayana, you are lying there at the bottom. Every soul and every creation that is there goes off into you, except for the top three things, right? They continue to remain as is. And then it says this universe becomes one giant ocean. Now, when they say ocean here, you shouldn't literally take it as water. It just means when ocean is there, that means there's no inhabitant, nothing is happening there. It's just so this they always refer to as Karana Jal, which means that it's like a causal state where nothing can happen. It is in the state of nothingness where no creation, nothing is happening. That is the state which is there. So at that time, when that period was happening, when the entire all of those words were non-existent, you, O Narayana, continue to remain in your state, in the state of Yoga Nidra. So which is, the Garbhodaka Shahi Vishnu, who's lying at the bottom of the Garbhodaka ocean. You were there lying on Adishesha, just in your state of Yoga Nidra. When the Bhagwan is in the state of Yoga Nidra for that universe, means everything else comes to a pause. Nothing is happening. So that's what they're saying in 5 and 6, is everything is right now paused and there is a state of nothingness which is happening right now. So Tavaiva Veshe Pani Raji Sheshe, Jalaika Sheshe Bhuvane Smasheshe Ananda Sandranubhava Swarupaha, Swayoga Nidra Parimudritatma. So that's why we should always remember here, this is only referring to this Garbhodaka Shahi Vishnu who is in this universe of 14 worlds. From that main Karanodaka Shahi Vishnu, there are multiple universes which are getting created, each of which is at a completely different timeline compared to this universe. But he says we can only talk about this universe and this Brahma and everything that is there inside this. We don't know what's happening in the other universes. Tavaiva veshe phanirajisheshe jalaikasheshe bhuvane smasheshe Ananda Sandranubhava Swarupah Swayoga Nidra Parimudritatma.
I have one question. The first line, my book says Pani Raja. Is it Raji?
No, Raji Sheshe, yeah.
Okay.
तवैव वेषभणिराजिशेषे जलैकशेषे भुवने स्मशेषे आनन्दसान्द्रानुभवस्वरूपः योगनिद्रा परिमुद्रितात्मा.
Swayoga, fourth line, first word. Swayoga Nidra.
स्वयोगनिद्रा. तवैव वेषे भणिराजिशेषे जलैकशेषे भुवने स्मशेषे आनन्दसान्द्रानुभवस्वरूपः स्वयोगनिद्रा परिमुद्रितात्मा.
तवैव वेषे फणिराजिशेषे जलैकशेषे भुवने स्मशेषे आनन्दसान्द्रानुभवस्वरूपः स्वयोगनिद्रा परिमुद्रितात्मा. तवैव वेषे फणिराजिशेषे जलैकशेषे भुवने स्मशेषे आनन्दसान्द्रानुभवस्वरूपः स्वयोगनिद्रा परिमुद्रितात्मा.
Okay, we'll just switch. We're at halfway point. No, this one took, the first half took a long time. Amuda, you can be a student, and Shubha Hari, you can be a student. Kalakya Shaktim Pralayavasane Prabodaityadishata Kiladho Tvaya Prasuptam Parisupta Shakti Vrajena Tatra Kila Jiva Dhamna. So now, at that time, all the subtle bodies, the souls, like we saw in Dasakam 5, right, on all the karmas which are there, are all in a dormant state. Like we said, there's nothing like a state of non-existence. That state it cannot be. It's always in a state of existence. It is just in a different state of existence, right? So it is all there in a subtle dormant state. So when the period passes, right, when the Kalpa night passes and the day is now beginning, when the cosmic rest state gets over, then all of these things, just like how the process starts, perfectly at the right time, the process starts again. It is purely because of your power, without any alarm or anything. At the appropriate time, that next step begins to get triggered, and from that time you wake up. And when they say the Garbhodakashayi Vishnu wakes up from the Yoga Nidra, that means the process of creation is now ready to start at the appropriate time, and that time is equivalent to that period that we saw. So at that time when the process starts, everything is now beginning to get ready for the next step of creation to start. So, Kalakya Shaktim, Pralayavasane, Prabodayetya Dishata Kiladau, Tvaya Prasuptam Parisupta Shakti, and then put a plus, Brajena Tatrakila Jiva Dhamna.
Kala.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
Kalakya Shaktim Pralayavasane Prabodayetya Kiladau Tvaya Prasuptam Parisupta Shakti Vrajena Tatra Kila Jiva Dhamna. Amuta,
Kalakya Shaktim Pralayavasane Prabodayetya Sada Kilatau Tvaya Prasuptam Parisupta Jakti Vrajena Tatra Gila Jivatamna. Kalakya Shaktim Pralayavasane Prabodayetya Sada Kilatau Tvaya Prasuptam Parisupta Sakti Vrajena Tatra Agila Jivatamna.
you don't have to break it as Tatra Akila. Those are the two words, but that will become Tatra Akila as one word.
Sakti Vrajena Tatra Agila Jivatamna.
Kalakya Shaktim Pralayavasane Prabodayetya Kiladhau Tvaya Prasuptam Parisupta Shakti Vrajena Tatra Kila Jivadhamnam. Kalakya Shaktim Pralayavasane Prabodayetya Kiladhau Tvaya Prasuptam Parisupta Shakti Vrajena Tatra Kila Jivadhamnam.
Answer 8. I'll say 8 and 9 meaning together. Chatur Yuganam cha Sahasramevam, Tvai Prasupte Punaradvitiye Kalakya Shaktihi, put a F to join, Shaktif Pratama Prabuddha, Prabodayatvam Kila Vishwanatha. Chatur Yuganam cha Sahasramevam Tvahi Prasupte Punaradvitiye Kalakya Shaktif Pratama Prabuddha Prabodayatvam Kila Vishwanatha.
Chatur Yuganam cha Sahasramevam Tvayi Prasupte Punaradvitiye Kalakya Shakti Pradama Prabuddha Prabodayatvam Kila Vishwanatha.
The last line, Prabodayatvam.
Prabodayatvam Kila Vishwanatha. Chatur Yuganam cha Sahasramevam Tvayi Prasupte Punaradvidiye Kalakya Shakti Pratama Prabuddha Prabodayatvam Kila Vishwanatha.
The fourth again, Prabodha.
Prabodha.
Yeah.
Kalakya Shakti Pratama Prabuddha Prabodayatvam Kila Vishwanatha.
Chaturyuganam cha sahasramevam Tvayi prasupte punaradvitiye Kalakya Shakti Pratama Prabuddha Prabodayatvam Kila Vishwanatha. Chaturyuganam cha sahasramevam Tvayi prasupte punaradvitiye Kalakya Shakti Pratama Prabuddha Prabodayatvam Kila Vishwanatha.
That's a 9. विबुध्य च त्वं जलगर्भशायिन् विलोक्य लोकानखिलान् प्रलीनान् तेष्वेव सूक्ष्मात्मतया निजान्तस्थितेषु विश्वेषु ददात दृष्टिम्. So you can just a little bit repeat, it's going to be, because same thing which happened, which we explained of what happens at night, is continuing this night also. So he says at that time, there's absolutely, there should be no doubt that when at that time, when the night was there for that particular universe, that Advitiya, this other than you, there was absolutely nothing that was there. It was only primarily you, because the rest of them, even Brahma and everybody who was in the top worlds also were in a state of, nothingness. They had no idea what was happening. Just like when we go to sleep, we don't have control over what is happening, right? Similarly, there was absolutely nothing. Only you, Vishwanatha, you were there who knew everything that was happening. And when the time comes and then you begin to wake up, right, which means the entire process of activation is starting. Again, all of this that was there, which is inside you, is in an unmanifested state, just like how we saw the entire creation happen before. So that entire unmanifested state, which is in you, is now beginning to get triggered. Just like the regular creation, the whole process is going to start again for this universe, which we'll see what happens later. So you wake up, Narayana, and then you see that everything is submerged in you. And then you decide, okay, the time has now come for the entire process to start again. So Vibudhya Chatvam Jala Garbha Shayin Bilokya Lokan Akhilan Pralinan Teshveva Sukshmatmataya Nijantaha. You have put a is and put a plus. So Nijantas, put a plus. Stiteshu Vishweshu Dadata Drishtim. विबुध्य च त्वं जलगर्भशायिन् विलोक्य लोकानखिलान् प्रलीनान् तेष्वेव सूक्ष्मात्मतया निजान्तस्थितेषु विश्वेषु ददात दृष्टिम्.
विबुध्य च त्वं जलगर्भशायिन् विलोक्य लोकन् अखिलान् प्रलीनान् तेष्वेव सूक्ष्मात् मदया निशान्तस्थितिदेषु विश्वेषु तदादृष्टिम्. विबुध्य च त्वं जलगर्भशायिन् विलोक्य लोकान् अखिलान् प्रलीनान् देष्वेव सूक्ष्मात्मदाय निशान्तस्थितिदेषु विश्वेषु तदादृष्टिम्.
The third line, Sukshmatmataya.
Sukshmatmadaya.
Yeah. Yeah.
Teshveva Sukshmatmadaya Nijantam Stidideshu Vishveshu Tadatrishtim.
And the Nijanta Amuda on the last line, remember, Nijantas, that is will get added there, okay?
Nijantas.
So, yeah. Okay.
So Rajesh, is Sukshma or Sukshma?
Sukshma. Sukshmam. That's Sukshma.
Sukshma.
विबुध्य च त्वं जलगर्भशायिन् विलोक्य लोकान् अखिलान् प्रलीनान् तेष्वेष्व सूक्ष्मात्मतया निजन्तस्थितेषु विश्वेषु ददात दृष्टिम्. विबुध्य च त्वं जलगर्भशायिन् विलोक्य लोकान् अखिलान् प्रलीनान् तेष्वेष्व सूक्ष्मात्मतया निजन्तस्थितेषु विश्वेषु ददात दृष्टिम्.
Shubha, on the third line, first word, you're saying Teshvesh, it's Teshveva.
तेष्वेष्व सूक्ष्मात् तेष्वेव. Okay.
Yeah, okay. I think you're saying sh or shu there, just Teshveva sound, okay? Answer 10.
Sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah, I need correction again. For the verse 9, I didn't realize you just corrected. It's Sthiteshu Vishveshu, right? Or Vishve.
Vishveshu. That is shu. I think the third line, first word, which is Teshveva. That is
Okay,
there. I
that
think
is
she was saying
correct.
Ishveshu or something there. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
That's it. ततस्त्वधीयादयिनाभिरन्ध्रात् उदञ्चितं किञ्चन दिव्यपद्मं निलीननिःशेषपदार्थमाला संक्षेपरूपं मुकुलायमानम्. So now we see the difference between how the original creation happened, which was when absolutely nothing was there, and now this day creation. Because in this, remember, the Brahmandam is already there. All of those elements are already there. That Hiranyandam, that egg is there, except only the top three worlds are there. Rest of the stuff is not there, which is fundamentally different from the first time creation happened. So here, I'll first explain what it says and I'll tell you the meaning of what it is. It says, from your Nabhi, from the Garbhodakashayi Vishnu who's in the Garbhodaka ocean, from your Nabhi comes a Divya Padma. Comes up a special lotus bud, it says, right? Which essentially has all of the things which is necessary for creating whatever is missing. Okay, so that's the definition of it. Now you cannot think of how will a lotus come. Imagine this is the entire world, universe we're talking about, which is hundreds of millions of miles or more than that long, right? Top to down, if you look at it. How can a lotus bud come? So that is a symbolic representation, because the way it is to think of it is, the Garbhodaka ocean is kind of everything which is in the unmanifested state, which means it is this absolutely nothing. It is just, it is just stillness, right? Nothing there. It is of no value until something comes out of it. So just like how when you go and look at where lotus is blooming, it comes out of a muddy water, and then the lotus comes. However, the lotus is independent of the muddy water. It still remains as a pure lotus. So when they're saying it is coming out of it, it just says the bud which is coming, which is having everything encapsulated inside of it. That is, they're referring to it as a lotus bud, because that's what they're saying. A bud comes. The lotus flower does not come. It in the shape of a bud, right? So which has everything which is there encapsulated in that. And from that opens up and forms a lotus, which means it's opening up and the entire universe is getting created. So you cannot literally take it as a lotus flower coming here or lotus bud coming. It is talking about everything which is unmanifested sitting in that Vishnu who's at the bottom. From that Vishnu, everything comes up, and then it starts manifesting in the form of the rest of the worlds and everything else. So that's what the Sukshmam, which they said in the previous stanza, it is all there in the subtle form, and from there it then starts manifesting itself in the various form. So that's what they're saying in this one. It comes in the form of that bud. So tatas twadiyadhi nabhirandrat. So put a it, nabhirandrat. Other thing here, why it is coming from the nabhi, right? So just like they say that our body is like a universe, right? Because inside our body there are millions of neurons and millions of microbes which are surviving in their own ecosystem. We just don't know, right? And just like how when human birth happens, right, the umbilical cord is connected to the mother's nabi. Very similar to that, the process of creation also, it says just like that, because the Garbhodakashayi Vishnu is the mother from whom the universe is coming, right? So it says from that person's nabhi, everything is coming, just like how the human birth occurs, right? So that's why it says from his nabhi, a bud came, which is like the womb of it. You can think of it that way, and then which manifests into the various forms. So tatas twadiyadhi nabhi randrat. Put a it at the end of that line, comma. Next line, the du becomes a u. Udanchitam kinchana divya padmam nilina nishesha padartha mala, put a plus, samkshepa rupam mukulaya manam. ततस्त्वधीयादयिनाभिरन्ध्रात् उदञ्चितं किञ्चन दिव्यपद्मं निलीननिःशेषपदार्थमाला संक्षेपरूपं मुकुलायमानम्.
तदस्त्वदीयदायि तप्पु सर तदस्त्वदीयादयि तदस्त्वदीयादयि नाभिरन्ध्रात् उदञ्चितं किञ्चन दिव्यपद्मं निलीन निःशेषपदार्थमाला संक्षेपरूपं मुकुलायमानम्. ततस्त्वदीयतै नाभिरन्दरात् उदञ्जितं किञ्चन दिव्यपद्मं निलीननिःशेषपदार्थमाला शङ्खेक्षरूपं मुगलायमानम्.
Fourth line, samkshepa.
சம்ஷேப இம் வருமாங்கண்ண.
ஆமா ஆமா, samkshepa, ksha.
இது இங்கா இல்ல சங்ஷேப் சங்ஷேப.
Yeah, but the ksha வந்து KSHA, ksha, shape.
Okay. சங்ஷேப ரூபம். ஓ சாரி சார், அந்த சங்ஷேப ரூபம் முகலாயமானம். இன்னொருக்கா சொல்லிடுவா. ஓகே.
ततस्त्वदीयादै नाभिरन्ध्र उदाञ्चितं किञ्चन दिव्यपद्मं निलीननिःशेषपदार्थमाला संक्षेपरूपं मुकुलायमानम्. ततस्त्वदीयादैनाभिरन्ध्रात् उदाञ्चितं किञ्चन दिव्यपद्मं निलीननिःशेषपदार्थमाला संक्षेपरूपं मुकुलायमानम्.
The second line, Shubha, you're saying udanchitam, it's udanchitam. Just no a there, okay?
Yeah.
Udanchitam. Stanza 11. Tate tadham bhoruha kudmalam te kale bharato yapate prarudam bahir niritam paritaspuradbihi swadhamaberdhvantamalam nyakrintat. So initially, of course, when nothing is there, it's darkness, right? When you think of a lotus bud that you come, and if you have to ever do an offering, what you do is you have to very carefully start removing the petals of the lotus from the outside. Step by step, it's got multiple layers, right? You start removing each of those petals, and finally the lotus flower, it blossoms into a full flower. He says the creation of this universe, the rest of the world, is very similar to that. In the sense, it's like unfolding of the universe, right? Which is like the unfolding of the lotus flower. Step by step, all this process, like what happened previously, the material energy which is required to create the bottom worlds, all of that start happening like how it happened before. So they're not explaining to the details again, but they're giving a very simple example. Just like how your lotus bud opens into a flower, it opens up. Similarly here, when that comes, it starts shining, all the darkness goes away because all these planetary systems are beginning to exist. Right? All the worlds are created again in the exact same way it was before in the previous kalpa. No beings are there yet because that Brahma has to create. But the framework or the existence of all the other 9 worlds or 11 worlds which disappeared are beginning to exist right now. That is step number 1. So, tade tadhamboruha. You cannot quite break it. Tade tadhamboruha kudmalamte, comma. Kalebarat toya pate prarudham bahir niritam paritaha, put is paritas spuradbihi, comma, swadamabhir dvantamalam nyakrintat. Tade tadhamboruha kudmalam te kale barato yapate prarudham bahir niritam paritaspuradbihi swadhamabhirdvantamalam nyakrintat.
ததேதம் போருக குட்மலம் தே கலே பராத் தோயபதே பிரரூடம் பஹிர்நிரீதம் பரிதஸ்புரத்பிஹி ஸ்வதாமபிர் துவாந்தமலம் ஞக்ருந்தத். ததேததம்போருக
ததேததம்.
तदेतदम्बोरुहकुट्मलं ते कलेबरात् तोयपते प्ररूढं बहिर्निरीदं परितस्फुरद्भिः स्वधामभिर्ध्वान्तमलं न्यकृतत्
तदेतदम्बोरुहकुड्मलं ते कलेभरातोयपते प्ररूढं बहिर्निरीटं परितस्फुरद्भिः स्वधामभिर्ध्वान्तमलं न्यकृन्तत् तदेतदम्बोरुहकुड्मलं ते कलेभरातोयपते प्ररूढं बहिर्निरीटं परितस्फुरद्भिः स्वधामभिर्ध्वान्तमलं न्यकृन्तत्.
That's at 12. Samphullapatre nitaram vichitre tasmin bhavadvirya saroje sapadmajanma vidira virasit swayam prabuddha kila vedarashihi. So now that those worlds are created, now Brahma is already in existence, right? Unlike the other first time when Brahma also has to happen. So here this Brahma now, it says is sitting on that lotus. Brahma, when he says sitting on that lotus, on the open lotus, doesn't mean that Brahma is physically sitting on, because remember the lotus itself was just a metaphor to explain how this entire universe is getting created. So now he has access to all of that. So he's now sitting on that, and now he has to start the creation. Now, it says here, when now Brahma gets all the knowledge embedded into him for the day. Now, what is that's only going to come in the next Dasakam. So I'll wait to explain how he gets that knowledge and what knowledge he gets for the creation to start. But essentially, it says now that the rest of the worlds are created and Brahma is already there, Brahma is infused with knowledge, so the process starts all over again. This is called as a visarga. Sarga means the primary creation, which is the creation of all of the primary elements. Once Brahma is there, then the process called Visarga, which means he then creates a rest. The secondary creation is starting. Samphulla patre nitaram vichitre, comma, tasmin bhavat virya dhrite saroje, sa padma janma vidira virasit, comma, swayam prabuddha kila veda rashihi. Samphullapatre nitaram vichitre tasmin bhavadvirya dhrite saroje sapadmajanma vidira virasit swayam prabuddha kila vedarashihi.
सम्पुल्लपत्रे नितरां विचित्रे तस्मिन् भवद्वीर्यधृते सरोजे सबत्मजन्मा विधिराविरासीत् स्वयं प्रबुद्धा अखिल वेदराशिः. वेदराशिः सम्पुल्लपत्रे नितरां विचित्रे तस्मिन् भवद्वीर्यधृते सरोजे सबत्मजन्मा विधिराविरासीत् स्वयं प्रबुद्धा अखिल वेदराशिः.
सम्पुल्लपत्रे नितरां विचित्रे तस्मिन् भवद्वीर्यधृते सरोजे सपद्मजन्म विधिराविरासीत् स्वयं प्रबुद्धा किल वेदराशिः. सम्पुल्लपत्रे नितरां विचित्रे तस्मिन् भवद्वीर्यधृते सरोजे सपद्मजन्मा विधिराविरासीत् स्वयं प्रबुद्धा किल वेदराशिः.
The 13. Asmin paratman anupadmakalpe tvamittamutthapita padmayonihi ananta bhuma mamarogarashim nirhundi vatalaya vasa vishnu. So like we said, each of the day is called as a kalpa. The 100 years of Brahma is called as a Mahakalpa. So this Brahma, who is there in existence, but after every 100 years, the Brahma also changes. Like we said, Brahma also is bound by time, right? He also has only 100 years. Now he's 50 years is already done. So this Brahma's 100 years is called as the Padma Kalpa. That's the name of that Kalpa. Of the 100 years, the entire 100 years period is called Padma Kalpa. So he says, oh, but it says, oh Lord, this way you brought into existence this Brahma in his Padma Kalpa during his 100 years. That's how the Brahma is getting established, because from next to Dashakam onwards, Brahma starts the process. So everybody else is now going to start coming. So he's kind of summarizing this way, you brought this Brahma into existence, so that you, Guru Arpa, please eradicate all the ailments I am having. Because you are bringing Brahma himself into existence. Only then everything else is going to come. So if you are the supreme power behind all of that, then eradicating my diseases should not be a big problem, right? So that's what this comes to an end. Again, like I said, all of these things in the beginning, it is there only to establish that none of this is going to happen without the will and the power of the Lord. That is the whole purpose of knowing all of these things, right? Even Brahma, next to the Shakam, we'll see he's going to struggle. Even the next day, he's going to struggle at work, right? So again, the God has to come and rescue and help him out here. So Asmin Paratman Nanu Padma Kalpe, comma, Twamittam Uttapita Padmayonihi Ananta Bhuma Mama Roga Rashim, and then put a plus and then put a comma after the next word Nirundi, because the Roga Rashim is to getting all the what do you call, all the roga, all the diseases. Nirundi, is to eradicate it. So you have to kind of say that together. So Mama Roga Rashim Nirundi, comma, Vatalayavasa Vishnu. Asmin Paratman Anupadmakalpe Twamittamuttapita Padmayonihi Ananta Bhuma Mama Roga Rashim Nirundi Vatalayavasa Vishnu.
अस्मिन् परात्मन् अनुपात्मकल्पे त्वमित्तम् उत्थापित पद्मयोनि अनन्तभूमा मम रोगराशिं निरुन्धि वातालय वास विष्णु.
Muta, the second line, last word, Padmayonihi.
Padmayonihi. Yonihi. Asmin paratman nanubatmakalpe twamittam uttapita padmayonihi ananda bhuma mama rogashim nirundi vatala vasa vishnu.
Vatalaya vasa Vishnu.
Vatalaya vasa vishnu.
अस्मिन् परात्मन् अनुपाद्मकल्पे त्वमित्तमुत्थापितपद्मयोनिः अनन्तभूमा मम रोगराशिं निरुन्धे वातालय वास विष्णु. अस्मिन् परात्मन् अनुपाद्मकल्पे त्वमित्तमुत्थापितपद्मयोनिः अनन्तभूमा मम रोगराशिं निरुन्धे वातालय वास विष्णु.
Parabrahmane Namaha. I think most of you might have already known this stanza. This, like at the end of every Dashakam of Narayaneeyam, there is a stanza which says, you who did this, please eradicate my ailments. That is going to be pretty consistent. That is coming. It's going to be there in every chapter until the 99th chapter, right? But again, this one is even more famous because this is saying this entire Brahma itself came into existence only because of you. So that you eradicate my ailments, right? So it's a little bit more powerful. So that's why this one, a lot of people chant if there's one stanza. But like I said, the Kalambo, the Kalaya Komala Ruchi, which I said in the last chapter also, is an equally important, stanza. But this is a simple stanza, right? But a lot of such important ones will anyway come. Okay, so 9 is Jagat Srishti Prakara Varnana. So now we are actually going to get into the process of creation. Actually, unfortunately, everything takes time because the creation will actually only start in 10, but 9 is a little bit of a transition of how Brahma is helped with the process. We'll do maybe one stanza today and stop. Stanza 1. स्थितस्य कमलोद्भवः तव हि नाभिपङ्केरुहे कुतस्विदिदमम्बुधौ उदितमित्यनालोकयन् तदीक्षण कुतूहलात् प्रतिदिशं विवृत्ताननः चतुर्वदनतामगात् विकसदष्टदृष्ट्यम्भुजाम्. So now this Brahma, continuing from there. So Brahma is now woken up from his sleep, right? So he just wakes up and suddenly he sees that he's sitting on this creation which is already there of all the other worlds. And he's beginning to wonder, when I went to sleep, it was nothingness which was there because everything had merged. And it was in a state of that inert state which was there. And now I wake up and suddenly all these worlds are there. So he's beginning to wonder, where did this lotus come from? And again, where did the lotus come from? Means where did all this creation happen? Because somebody must have done, because I didn't do it. I was the only one who was sleeping, I was resting. Then how did this happen? So Brahma is again confused as to what is happening, and he's beginning to look everywhere, wondering how this process happened or who's source of all of these things. Brahma also forgets every morning. That's what is going to happen. Every morning he wakes up and then he forgets what he had learned the previous time. And again, knowledge has to be infused. Again, he has to be blessed by the Lord every morning before Brahma starts his process again, right? So, sthitasya kamalodbhavaha. So that is you remove, put a visarga, comma, bhavaha. Tava hi nabhi pankeruhe, comma. Kutaha, put a is to join, kutas. Svididham ambudhau. So the vu that you have there, it'll be easy if you remove that vu off and make it ambudhau, comma, kutas svididham ambudhau, comma. Next word will start with the u. Uditam ityanalokayan. Stitasya kamalodbhavah tava hinabhipanke ruhe kutasvididamam budhau uditamityanaalokayan.
Tidissa kamalorpavah tavahi nabi pankeruha kutasvivitam ambudau uditam ityana ityanalokayan.
Ityanalokayan.
Ityanalokayan. Stidissa kamalotpavah.
Stithassa.
Didasta kamalotbhavah tavahi nabipankeruha kutasvididam bhutau udidam ityanalokayan.
Now, first line, last word, panke ruhe.
Pankeruhe. Stidassa kamalotbhava tavahi nabipankeruhe kutasvididam ambudam udidam ityanalokayan.
स्थितस्य कमलोद्भवः तव हि नाभिपङ्केरुहे कुतस्विदितम् अम्बुधौ उदितम् इत्यनालोकयन्. Is it correct?
Yeah.
Stitissa kamalo. Stitissa. Stitassa. Okay.
Yeah.
Stitassa kamalodbhavaha tavahi nabi pankeruhe kutas viditam ambudhau uditam itya nalokayan.
Tadikshana kutuhalat, comma, pratidisham vivrittananaha, visarga, comma, vivrittananaha. Next line, that ish will go away. Chatur vadana tamagat. So you'll have a dvi, dvi, dvi. You're going to just break it. Chatur vadana tamagat it, comma. Next word will start with a V. Vikasa dashta drishtyam bujam. Tadhikshana kutuhalat pratidisham vivrittananaha chaturvadanatamagat vikasadashtadrishyambhujam. Just say one time, and then we'll wrap up.
तदीक्षण कुतूहलात् प्रदिदिशं विवृताननः चतुर्वदनतामकात् विकसदष्ट अम्बुजाम्.
That is just drishyambhujam. It will come as one word.
दृष्ट्यम्बुजाम्.
तदीक्षणकुतूहलात् प्रतिदिशं विवृताननः चतुर्वदनतामगात् विकसदष्टदृष्ट्यम्बुजाम्.
कृष्णाय परब्रह्मणे नमः. चान्ध्रानन्दावबोधात्मकमनुपमितं कालदेशावधिभ्यां निर्मुक्तं नित्यमुक्तं निगमशतसहस्रेण निर्भास्यमानम् अस्पष्टं दृष्टमात्रे पुनरुरुपुरुषार्थात्मकं ब्रह्मतत्त्वं तत्तावद्भाति साक्षात् गुरुपवनपुरे हन्त भाग्यं जनानाम्. कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि. Thank you everyone. Bye.
Thank you, Rajesh.
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 Bye.